everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Details Podcast. I am so excited to be kicking off the new year with our very special guest. She's a Minnesota transplant to Texas. She is a bombshell, newlywed, reality TV loving, traveling, and content creator. She is the person behind one of my favorite Instagram accounts that always makes me laugh. It is the one, the only Morgan Miller.
Oh my gosh, that intro. That was so nice. I love that. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes. Well, thank you for agreeing to come on my podcast. I feel like we owe the people like a quick little introduction. I think just rundown from me, I started following this funny account on Instagram that was making hilarious content about Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Found out you're behind it, connected, and I'm like, let's have you on the podcast because you're doing all sorts of things. You're going to start your own podcast.
Yes.
And I want to talk about like how you got into the content creation world. So thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. So it's funny because I've been listening to podcasts for so long, maybe, well, like 5 years. I've been just really into listening into podcasts, and people would always tell me, oh my gosh, you should start your own podcast. You'd be so great at it. I was always just kind of imposter syndrome a little bit. Like, really? Are you sure? Obviously, the space is huge, but it's like, who am I to take up part of that space? And so really it kind of moved into one of my favorite podcasts ever, The Toast. I don't know if you listen to The Toast or anything like that, but they're a daily podcast. It's two sisters. Love them so much. One of the girls, Claudia, she kind of started by having a meme account.
Really?
And so I thought that was super interesting.
Yeah.
And so, it kind of just started small of doing just little snippets. So kind of got the inspo. My husband actually, he started a sales account. So he does sales. And so he started doing funny clips that, are niche and relatable to people in sales. And it kind of took off. And I was like, oh my gosh, well, wait, that could be really good for reality TV that I watch and, things that are going on in pop culture, gossip, whatever. And so it started around when Secret Lives, Mormon Wives, it was airing. Obviously, it's still prevalent, but right as the season, episodes are just being dropped. And so that was really when it got a lot of attention. I mean, we've done other shows like Big Brother, Traitors, just a couple other reality shows, but Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, that seems to be the hot audience. Like they just love it.
Yeah.
And so with that, it kind of led into like, okay, maybe from here, kind of getting a little bit of an audience, start doing little clips, showing my face and kind of a podcast element to kind of go into that space even further. But that's really how it all kind of started. And even to back up further, I think it was maybe 3 years ago, my husband, well, he was my boyfriend at the time, but he bought me all this podcast equipment and it just was sitting collecting dust because I was just like, how do I start? Where do I start? Why would anybody want to listen?
Yeah.
So it was just kind of very nerve-wracking, but I think doing the Instagram and just with the funny content, that's really helped because obviously I've been getting followers and, you've been giving me this great platform to kind of broadcast that even further. So yeah, so it's been super exciting and I'm excited to keep expanding it. And I don't know if you saw, but Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, they just announced that their season 4 is dropping March 12th.
Okay, no, but last night I was laying in bed with my husband, like catching him up on my day, and I saw Taylor Frankie Paul's reel where she was singing lip syncing to that one song about help you with your career just a little. But the text, like the caption said, dropping this before tomorrow, and it had 2 eyes. And so I leaned over to my husband and I was like, they are announcing Secret Lives of
Yes.
Mormon Wives release date tomorrow. But I have been so busy this morning, I haven't even had time to get on my phone and actually check that they dropped it. So they dropped it.
They dropped it. And I just happened to see it right before we started. So I was like, oh my gosh, this will be perfect for me to bring up. So yeah, March 12th.
March 12th. Well,
yeah.
because Bachelorette starts on the 20th, March 20th.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay,
so it'll just be back to back to back to back to back.
Oh my gosh, we're going to be like
I know.
ping-ponging between
I
shows
know.
here. It's gonna be
I'm so
madness.
excited. It will be. It'll be madness. It'll be chaos. And yeah, and then that's another thing too. It's like I have never really watched The Bachelorette or The Bachelor, which
Okay.
could be shocking.
Yeah.
But I will absolutely be tuning in with Taylor on it, of course. I
Same.
feel like
I
that'll just
haven't
be a lot of great
watched
content.
Yeah, I haven't watched The Bachelor franchise since probably 2010, and I was just so over it. I was like,
Right.
these people are clearly not here for love, which is what
Right.
this show's about. And so I
Exactly.
think that, like, disingenuousness was felt through the screen, and I think
Absolutely.
so many people were just like, "I'm over this show." Everyone's
Mhm.
basically wanting to get famous,
Right.
and they don't care if it's, like, long-lasting
Mm-mm.
love, and, like, some of them do, but, like, you just felt like that wasn't what the show was about anymore. So
Right.
I left in probably 2010, I'm guessing,
Yeah.
and literally I was like, "There's nothing that could bring me back." And then Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, which okay, I historically haven't been a huge TV person, but I took like a 6 months hiatus last year at the end of 2025. I got into like tons of shows, but obviously Secret Lives of Mormon Lives started before that, and I wasn't gonna watch it. The only show I watched on TV was The Amazing Race, which is
Okay.
another reality show.
Yeah.
Which we can get into like the whole CBS thing later. Um my friend Mindy was like, "Hey, this show is so good." And she's like sending me all this tea. And I'm like, I don't know what any of this is about. Like, I'm so out of the loop. And so I was like, okay, looks like a fun girly pop show. I'm just going to watch it. Got hooked. So I have to know, like, when they release, how do you watch it? Do you sit and binge or do you watch like an episode or two a day or does it take you weeks? Because I sit
Oh
and freaking
gosh.
binge.
I love to binge. I mean, if they're gonna give it all to me, I'm
Yes,
going to take it. Like,
same.
it's so hard for me not to. And part of it, well, I just am very impatient when it comes to that. I'm just like I have to know what's going on. Like, there's just no way I can I'll just pick it back up. I have friends that they just will start an episode or two when there's 5 more maybe already out, and they're like, "Well, I got busy, so I'll just wait till later." How? I don't know. That
I
is
won't
a
sleep.
skill set. I don't.
Yeah. I will stay up through the night to watch this.
Yes, 100%. I will make sure that we don't have plans so
Yes.
I can get this accomplished because and that's another thing too, I think being so invested in podcasting, like
Mm,
listening to so many different they're talking about it. So I don't wanna be out of the loop either. Also, I don't really want spoilers if I can help it.
no.
So I like to pretty much stay on top of it. So, when I'm listening to them recapping it or they're referencing something, I wanna be like, "Okay, I know exactly what they're talking about."
Yeah. Or if another
But
podcaster has them on for an interview, you're like, "I need to be
right.
up to date so, like, I am filled in on what they're potentially talking about."
Exactly, exactly, 100%. But it is really funny too because I feel like there are a lot of reality shows that I'm not very privy to, and I mean,
Girl, same.
because there's so many, right? So,
Yeah.
so many Real Housewives franchises.
I've never seen a single Housewives
Oh my gosh,
episode.
okay, so, I mean, I'm not far behind you because
Okay.
really the main one that I was invested in was Real Housewives of New Jersey, and I loved that one because it was family.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they like, it wasn't like, "Oh, I cannot," like meeting each other just because they're signed on the same show. It's because, "Oh
Mm,
no, like that's my sister-in-law and that's my brother and
yeah. It's real.
cousins," and things like that. So that drama was so much more interesting to me because I'm like, "Oh, there's so much more at stake with this drama."
Family drama. Yeah.
But right, exactly. It's just there's just so much. But the other ones I haven't really and I wish I had like or no, sorry. I mean, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City apparently is just insane. My friends are
I'm sure.
begging me to start it and I need to because my podcast like they will have them on and that's when I'm like, okay, I can go do work while I have it playing, just some background noise, but I have no idea really what they're talking about.
Yeah.
That's okay. I like knowing the names. I like knowing, okay, I know that there's some drama with something, but I don't know the full lore.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, also,
There's
our
so
brains
much.
are sponges and we can only absorb so much. Like, we already
Exactly.
have so much on our plates as working ladies, working moms.
Right.
And then, like, I feel like the shows are like our me time. At least that is what it's
Yes,
for me. And I'm like, this is my treat. This is my special thing.
absolutely.
And it's so funny you bring up, well, I mean, of course, the Housewives is like a huge thing that I'm very, like, not into. A lot of times I love to call myself a nobody from Nebraska because I'm just like so in this interior design bubble that I've created for myself because I'm obsessed. Like, I live it, breathe it, travel for it, read for it, podcast. Like, I'm
Right,
obsessed with interior design. So, like, I don't watch all the shows,
right.
but I haven't seen Vanderpump Villa.
Mm.
I haven't seen Big Brother. I haven't seen like so many of these shows. I actually just got into Survivor last year, but also last year when I was on my like little hiatus and I like started really getting into shows, I watched Special Forces on Fox, The World's
Okay.
Toughest Test, and that's the only reason I know one of the new gen housewives. It's the Gia Giudice
Yes.
because she did I won't spoil it for you, but she was a competitor. She did very well in the Special Forces, and so that is my only like tiny little glimmer
That's
into
so funny.
the what like the
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a lot. And I think to your point too, it's like we can only absorb so much. And I love having my smaller niches of shows where I know so much about it versus just over consuming. And then it just kind of isn't really and it's just like, oh, that's just another show. Got to tune in. I love being so excited for a specific show. Like, especially, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Now that I know March 12th, I will literally be marking my calendar waiting
yes,
for that day. I'll be like, Drew,
same.
like,
What day of the week
this
is
is the
this?
day.
Let me check. What day of the week is a March 12th?
Oh, that's a great question.
Because we have like things. Oh, okay, it's a Thursday. That's a good day for me.
Perfect. It's right into the weekend. So
Yeah.
it'll set the weekend off perfectly.
Oh, wait. Okay. So then The Bachelor, it must be the 22nd because I heard they moved it from Mondays to Sundays, which I think is whack. I'm not watching it on Sunday night. I'm going to watch it the next day on Hulu.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's good. Thursday.
Yeah. Thursday's a good day. And I'm curious too if they will, I guess they probably will because I think they did that with the other seasons where they dropped just enough to keep you interested and then dropped more after the fact. Pretty sure that's
Wait,
how the setup was.
are you talking about Secret Lives of
For
Mormon
Secret
Wives?
Lives?
Like season 3?
Yeah. Because I think it was 10 episodes, if I remember correctly. I've watched them all so just like immediate that it's kind of running together.
Yeah.
But
No, and
yeah,
I agree with you. I feel like, and correct me if you think differently, I feel like season 1 and 2 were like fire in the frying pan, and season 3 was kind of like, wah, wah, and like
yes,
almost filler.
100%.
And I
I
think like
agree.
the whole world saw that, especially in the thing at the end. What's that called?
The reunion.
Yes, the
My
reunion was
gosh.
so lame. Like my favorite part was Whitney eating a sandwich backstage. I'm like, prime
I am
time TV here.
I am so sad about that reunion. I was genuinely so upset and I felt offended a little bit because a reunion like okay, and I know you don't really well, okay, so I know you said you don't watch Vanderpump Villa, but you watched Vanderpump or no?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay,
I've only
none of the
seen
Vanderpump.
I'm like an Amazing Race fanatic. I've
Okay,
applied 6 freaking times. They love me, they hate all my partners. And I just got
okay,
into Survivor and I watched 1 season of Special Forces. So like that's it.
okay. That's the extent.
And Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Right, of course.
So yeah, fill me in.
So I was super excited to have Stassi be the sorry, hold on, I'm just gonna fix my mic.
I did not know who she was. And I have this one friend that I always text with about Secret Lives. And she was
Yeah.
like, she texted me, my friend Natalie. She's like, I can't believe like Taylor Frankie Paul was acting like she didn't know who Stassi was. And I was like,
She
I
very
don't know
well
who
couldn't.
Stassi is. I'm like,
It's
I'm sorry.
That's so funny. Okay, so Vanderpump, yeah, so she was on Vanderpump Rules and she is basically, queen bee. Like I love her. I even went to one of her book signings and actually, okay, so sorry, I know we're kind of going a little bit back, but just some background on
For it,
Stassi.
yes. Love this.
So I love her. I went to her book signing and I printed out really huge and framed it like this tweet that I posted or tweeted, I put at Stassi Schroeder, something along the lines of like, I love her so much, I would let her punch me in the face. And she liked it. And so I took a screenshot of where it was like Stassi Schroeder liked this tweet, and I printed it out and framed it to her. And she was like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing I have ever seen.
You are so creative. I love this.
I was just like, I need to like stand out. Like I'm about to see Stassi Schroeder, meet her. I was so nervous because she's just, I don't know, she's so gorgeous and she's just hilarious too. And she speaks her mind and people love her for it. But I was like, I need to stand out. Like there's going to be so many people at this book signing. I got to give her something, but like what's not something weird, and what's something that, you know, not everybody's just going to give her. So I was like, oh my gosh, she liked a tweet. And I feel like she would love it so much, of just like the punching of the face. Like I love her so much. Like she would appreciate like that. Like that's her type of humor.
This is going a completely different direction. I thought you were going to say like, I gave her this thing and was like, do it, punch me in the...
No, it was like, look at this tweet I made about you. You loved it. And here you go. Here it's framed. And yeah, she was like, oh my gosh, this will be perfect in my office. So
That's
there's
so
that.
funny.
So
if I was in an elevator, like a slammed elevator face to face with her, I would be like,
right,
this girl,
and
she's just another girl. We're out here in the world doing girl stuff. Like I have no idea who she is.
But that's fair, because there's so many other people like that I'm just like, I have no idea. Like it would go right over my head. So I get that. So yeah, I fully believed that Taylor Frankie Paul didn't know who she was, because Taylor doesn't seem like that type of person to act like she doesn't know who you are. I mean, the girl walks around in sweatpants at all times of the day. Like she's just doesn't seem like that type of person.
I think she's a busy mom. She has a career that is popping off. She has multiple children, multiple babies, daddies. She feels like she's always moving homes. Like, girl's got a lot on her plate. I don't think she binge watches other people's. She barely watches her own show, I think. Like, I don't think she's up to date on really pop culture. I think she's super immersed in the TikTok world. But I don't think she's like a reality fan fanatic. So I 100% agree with you that she like didn't know who Stassi was.
And I mean, she's only, I think, to my knowledge, I could be completely wrong, but I feel like she's only been on one podcast too. So it's not even like she's beat bopping all over doing like I think, to your point, she's a busy mom. She pretty much just stays within her line of work.
Yeah.
And everything else is just extra, like that she doesn't involve herself in. So
yeah,
I truly believe that she didn't know who Stassi was, but it was funny to me because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm geeking out that Stassi is the host. And I was so excited too, because Stassi being in the reality TV space and also being on those couches before on reunion shows, I was thinking it was going to be out of the water. Granted, I know she's probably just doing what she's told. I know that she, you know, wasn't like, I am formulating exactly how this reunion is going to go.
Yeah, there was like
I'm sure she had, you know, things she had to, timeline, things she had to say, make sure she dropped those Dunkin' ads. But yeah.
Which is a whole other thing. I don't know how you feel about Chase being there. I was pissed. I was like, I don't want to see him in the show anyway. I don't want to see him at the reunion. He has nothing to do with Duncan and like the whole Jen Affleck thing. I was like, quit giving this guy a platform, people. I'm like aggravated about it. But my friend Mindy's like, oh, he's fun. He's like F-boy energy. And I'm like, I don't think he's fun. I'm not in middle school. I'm not into the bad boy.
Right. No, 100%. And then obviously too, you could see clearly how upset Miranda was. And it just was so uncomfortable. And he was just making these comments, kind of like smirking and giggling in the back behind Taylor. And I was like, ugh, like this is just not it. And yeah, they gave the men, you know, which, and I understand like they're part of the storyline. Like that's how, so a lot of, you know, Real Housewives reunions or Vanderpump, like they'll have kind of like the side characters at some point come out and have a little piece. But those are usually 3 different episodes. It's not just 1 hour. At some point, like they get, because you know, they have storylines too. Like there's things that need to be addressed, which is totally fine. I don't have an issue with that at all. But if you're cramming everything into 1 hour I don't need to see this, like something that really doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
I understand you want to try to throw in some light things every once in a while, but I don't know. It was just so rushed. And
apparently they were there all day.
Yeah. I'm like, why did we only get 1 hour? And then them making, like, the women leave the stage just for Dakota and
Yeah.
all of that. It was just crazy. I mean,
Yeah. And I
I
feel like
don't
they
know.
avoided some of, like, the potentially interesting and juicy things, like, why didn't they put more heat on Taylor talking about the date non-date with Chase and, like, seeing how Miranda
Yes.
really felt about it? They're like, "Well, how do you feel about Miranda?" And she's like, it's not what I thought it was." I'm like, "We coulda dove deeper here, people."
My gosh, 100%. Or then Stassi, she would finally, I feel like she was pulling things out of people, and then it was like, "Okay, well, we gotta move on. We can't keep talking about this." I'm like, "What do you mean we can't keep talking about this? That's the whole point of this part of the show." And like you said, they're filming all day. I don't know. Hulu really needs to take notes from Bravo and Peacock and Andy Cohen because you can't rush greatness like that. Like, there's so much. And I felt like, you know, I don't know, when they started getting into it and it was being stopped, I was like, that's the worst thing that could have possibly happened.
Yeah, and I do feel like the season 2 recap or, reunion was so much better than season 3 because they showed a ton of, like, unaired footage. They filled in
Yes.
details like background context. You're like,
Yes.
"Oh, that actually makes more sense now," like,
Right.
why Whitney and Connor left, and, like, they, like,
Yes.
filled in more of, like, their personal traumas, which maybe the people weren't comfortable sharing on the front end during production, but then
Yep.
they, like, thought about it and they're like, "Wow, this story could actually help other people," and then they shared deeper issues at the
Right.
reunion. I was fully expecting that
Yeah.
type of editing and life revealing on season 3, but I feel like the show got so hot and now they're like, "Oh, we have to be so close-lipped about everything because we can't give away anything for season
Right.
3," so then it's like, well, then the reunion was a dud, but I think we can all agree the reunion was a dud, but I wanna know, do you have predictions for season 4?
Oh my gosh. That is such a great question. One thing that I was telling my husband about is that it's hard with this one because the way that they film is so back to back. It's like as soon as they drop cameras, I feel like maybe a month or two later, I feel like they pick it back up. And it's hard to follow timelines sometimes because obviously, like, they were friends before and they're still friends. I mean, like, some of them, but you know, you're watching things develop on TikTok and then it's just very confusing, and then but then they're like, "Well, you don't know what's the show is coming out." So, trying to figure out timeline is very confusing, but I feel like I don't have exact predictions, but what I hope for is that there is way more clarity when it comes to the Demi, Marciano, and Jesse scandal. Like, obviously, I feel like it's been very much put into that, Jesse told her truth, like, and that is the truth. But obviously, we just don't know too much more on, like, the whole Demi part of it, and I'm just hoping that there is a little bit more clarity because I have seen theories, so these are just theories. These are not
Yeah.
this is allegedly that Brett is into some sort of watching situation. So that Demi and Brett, like that, they were all and Marciano all kind of on an understanding, that she could be flirty, but it got out a little bit too much. So her trying to reel that in from like the embarrassment of like, oh no, like this is okay in my marriage to
Mm.
turn into pointing fingers at Marciano, it taking it a little bit too far. Because, and I don't, of course, everybody's situation's different. Like I don't know. I don't wanna say one way or the other, but, I just look at it as in, people pointing out that, she's claiming these things about Marciano, and then it is a little bit interesting, for Brett to DoorDash him dinner or invite him over to watch the, premiere, things like that.
Yeah.
So, I just feel what I hope for is that there's a little bit more clarity on that whole
Situation.
relationship situation because I feel it's a lot more than just, "Oh, he grabbed me and I didn't appreciate that." S Now, I don't like that you're coming after me or like making it seem like that, I feel like there is more to that story
Totally.
that they're trying to protect. So I'm hoping that
Agreed.
there's more to that because it was left very confusing,
Yeah. And like super hot take here. I felt like season 3 was about Marciano, which to me was a
Yeah,
letdown because I'm like, I'm here to watch, like, I don't know, 5, 6, however many girls, like, I can't count them all right now, but I'm here to watch these girls' lives. And I feel like this chubby Italian commandeered the entire season and, like, basically the whole narrative was about him, which I'm like, I get it. That's big drama. That's hot tea. But
right.
guarantee the other girls have other stuff going on in their life that probably didn't
100%.
make the plot because for some reason the producers thought Marciano's it, which
Mhm.
I think he's annoying. He gives me the ick. I
Yeah,
like can't with him.
yeah,
And so
bad vibes.
like my general thought is I feel bad for Jessie because like you could tell she was like happy and giddy around him. I
Mhm,
think the story is more so, like, what was going on at home with her and Jordan. Like, that's
for
what
sure.
I want to know more about. And, like, I
Yes.
feel like Jen and Zach did a really good job with their, like, marriage arc of, like, being like, here's like, obviously, we all saw where they were, and, like, we saw them go to counseling, like, therapy together,
Mhm.
and, like, they've talked about their journey and how they've grown better, but I feel like Jesse and Jordan was like, things weren't great at home, had an emotional affair, we're working on it, and, like, kind
Right,
of not talk about it anymore, and I'm like, there's a lot more there.
for
I
sure.
understand that is, like, probably excruciating to talk about, but also, you know, Taylor had the whole thing going on with Dakota, which I don't know how you feel about it. This is another hot take. I'm like, you weren't together. Yes, it's wrong. Yes, it's so wrong of him to go after a family member, and that's sick and gross and disgusting and yuck. And yes, he is your baby daddy, so he'll always be in your life. But y'all weren't together. And I feel like she keeps getting mad at him for like making stupid life choices when they're not together. And I'm like, you
Yeah,
left him because he makes those stupid life choices. Like, you know this. How many
he's
times are we going to get
validating.
mad
Yep,
about it?
yeah. Oh my gosh. No, 100%. I, definitely think we'll see more of, Jesse and Jordan. You know, I know that they're working on it, and I hope that I know that they moved, which I think is good.
They sold their house. I thought they were getting divorced. Like
I
when I
know,
saw
yes,
they were like, our house is for
immediately.
sale. I was like, and then they got a new
No.
one. I was like, oh,
Yeah, I was like, okay, okay, maybe, like a fresh start. I know too that people just knew where they lived. So I hope that out
oh.
of all that, that'll help them. Yeah, it is very interesting because you could definitely tell. I mean, at first, when you're hearing, oh, Jesse's sneaking around with Marciano, it's like, oh my gosh, like, why would she do that? And then obviously, it dives deeper into their marriage, and you can see how emotionally disconnected she was from Jordan. And I think, I watched their interview that they did on the Nick Viall podcast.
I haven't watched that one yet. I need to.
Oh my gosh, you do. I'm pretty sure it's in 2 parts too, if I remember correctly.
Ooh, okay.
And Nick, he really kind of gives it to Jordan, because I think too, which is really interesting, because, when you just think in general terms of somebody cheating on their spouse, whether that's physically, emotionally, whatever, you just think they're the bad person, whatever. But, when you really deep dive into their marriage and the things that were going on, and you could definitely see like how she would kind of stray to find somebody that's giving her positive attention, especially if they've been disconnected for so long. But obviously, that really wasn't, I mean, there was kind of a glimpse on it with season 3, but I feel like you said, it was more so just focused on the scandal of Jesse Marciano
Yeah,
and
like beating a dead
Denise.
horse.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, over and over and over again.
We get it.
So I feel like this season will really get into their move
Hmm.
and why they're moving. Well, he said he was doing therapy. I think they're both doing therapy. Maybe we'll see a little bit of that, and see how they're gonna work through it. I mean, I don't wanna put words in anybody's mouth, but it didn't seem like Nick Viall had a lot of high hopes that it was going to resolve itself. So that was super interesting because from the interview, I mean, you know, you could see, I feel like maybe there was some more tension. Like still,
Of
like
course.
obviously forgiveness question mark, but working through it. And I'll be honest, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I could tell that he knew what he needed to say, you know? It's like
Yeah, I
you
wonder how much, like, PR coaching they have. Because at one
right.
point, I can't remember when it was, but Demi was like, she needs some PR coaching or not PR, there's another word she used, but, like, media training. She clearly needs
Yes.
more
Oh,
media
yes.
training. Like, you feel like they're very media trained at this point.
Yes, yes. So, I'll just be really curious to see how that play and again, I don't know the timing of the podcast and filming season 3. I would assume they probably overlapped at some point or season 3 was already filmed, but
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I feel like I Jordan wasn't really believing everything that he was saying in terms of, like, taking their favorite
Mm.
word, accountability. I didn't like, he was saying the words, but I don't know if he fully
Lived it or
believed
believed
it.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's the
yeah.
other thing actually that was the most confusing for me. I hate to go back to the season 3 reunion because it was such a dud, but that was
Yes,
almost what was so confusing was, like, all these things they were talking about, we we were like, "Oh, that
right,
was even during season 2, and you couldn't talk
right.
about it at the season 2 reunion, so now you're talking about it now in the season 3 reunion." So then I'm, like, in the matrix over here.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh,
"What
yes,
time, when?" Like, it's so confusing. I'm just like, "What?" Okay. Well,
yes. It is
and
mental gymnastics. That yes.
yes.
Sorry, I don't even know if I really clarified on that. Like, with the timeline of everything, it makes it so confusing, like,
Yes.
when you go to a reunion, you're expecting to be able to open up everything, and then when you're entering a reunion here and they say, "Oh, well, we can't fully touch on that because that's upcoming." It's
Yeah.
like, "Okay."
Then
Like,
why are you
I
doing
don't know what
this?
to do with that. Why are we not waiting until things are done? Like, there needs to be enough space to be able to
Mm,
openly talk about everything before to not spoil the future, I guess, but I don't know if it's just because everything is just always so up in flames with this group because they
yeah.
are already so close because, most of the Real Housewives franchises, like, sure, some of them may be close and friends outside of the show, but a lot of the times, or at least that's from what they have said, you don't really talk to each other unless it's filming. So it's like once filming wraps and then you go back to the reunion, you're talking about everything, you're kind of done until the next season starts. So there's not really a lot of anything maybe extra. I mean, I'm sure, communication, but like nothing huge, it's not like you're done with
Yeah.
filming. It's like, okay, these same group of people are going to continue to hang out and go on trips and film TikToks together and potentially have drama, pick up, but obviously this group does. So I think that's why and obviously they know that it's super hot. So
Yeah.
they want to get it as much as they possibly can. So it's like, I get it, but
Yeah.
I feel like it's unfair for the viewers to have a reunion where you're expecting to get answers that to
Don't
questions
get.
that you have. And then for them to be like, oh, okay, actually, no, we
Stand
can't get
by.
into that. It's like, oh,
Yeah, agreed.
okay.
And one thing that I'm curious and I'm hoping is like the main thing about season 4 is well, because Jen, after did you watch Dancing with the Stars?
I did, I
Okay,
did. This was
I
actually
have
my first season to watch
same.
solely because of the cast.
Dude, same. That's what I was gonna say was I have never watched Dancing with the Stars before, and I
Yeah.
watched because Jen and Whitney were gonna be
Yeah,
on. And,
absolutely.
like, Whitney season 1 was a totally different beast than Whitney season 2, and I actually really love Whitney now, like, during season 1, I had some
Yes.
thoughts, but I
Yep.
do love Whitney, and I also feel like I kinda see where she's coming from, like, I think she is a performer in the fact that, like and like, get really deep with stuff, so, like, I think back to the scene with her mom, like, just trying to even talk about sex ed and how her mom was kinda like, "Oh, well, I didn't raise you good enough," and so
Oh,
I
yeah.
just feel like probably her upbringing I don't know how many siblings she had, but I feel like she had to, like, be good, do good, like, perform well, like,
Right.
do well in school, do well in dance, like, whatever she was to, like, get that love and attention and admiration from her parents, so
Yeah.
I feel like that has carried into her adult life where she feels like she has to, like, kind of put on a show, and that's why I think she does care so much about, like, image and, like, how
Yes.
like, optics because that's, like, was conditioned in her upbringing, and I think, like, she's worked through that, and I think people can see, like, the beauty of her character as well, but at the point that I'm trying to get to we're jibber jabbers, I love this. The point I'm trying to get to is after Dancing with the Stars, when Jim was eliminated and said something like, "Oh, well, I'm not gonna take crap or something from a former Secret Lives of Mormon Wives member," I was like
Yeah.
Okay, so if Whitney is like out of
Right.
Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, I hope they touch on that in season 4. But
Yeah.
also, she said something like, "Oh yeah, a bunch of the Secret Lives of Mormon Lives ladies are coming out for like the opening of Chicago, which is in the
Right.
future." So I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe she's done with the show, but they're on like decent terms, and she's just like wanting to pursue other avenues. What do you think?
Yeah. So, I mean, at least for, I think after this season, I think she's done. Cause just with the clip of the season premiere drop, like she's in it, but obviously you can see she's like doing a lot of performing. And I think now she's just gotten to a point where, like you said, like she's very much a performer. Like you can see it like on stage. Like she clearly
Yeah,
has stage presence. Like
she's
there
talented.
is no denying that. And I think she's gonna be an amazing Roxy in Chicago. And I don't know what else she's done, but I guess, it's a secret, but
Some
did you see
Hallmark
where
movie.
Yes, yes,
Like
Hallmark
some
music.
winter
Yes,
Christmas
yes, yep.
movie. Good for
So,
her.
I think now she'll be done with the show. I feel like now she's gotten her name out there to that's beyond just Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Like, now she's doing all these other things, and that's ultimately what she wants to do. I mean, I respected it so much when people were like, "Why are you coming back to Secret Lives? You didn't want it." But she was like, hello, like, I'm trying to get on Dancing with the Stars.
I
Like, what
loved
do you
that too.
mean?"
I loved it.
So, and I can respect that. Like, she's like, "This is a business. This is for my future, my kids' future, my family, all that."
Yeah.
So I really truly do think after this upcoming season, I think she'll be done with it, which is really sad because I do enjoy watching her.
And Connor, I love Connor. He's my
Yes.
favorite husband or
Yeah, he's
partner.
so sweet. He really is so sweet. Like, again, season 1, I was very unsure just because obviously, they're really good at kind of painting how they want certain people to be perceived.
Yeah, the
And this is
edit.
the first season you're getting introduced to literally everybody, so, you're just really taking it all in. So I wasn't sure how I felt, but after season 1, once season 2, I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm softening up for Whitney." And then just more and more, I'm like, "Oh, okay, like, I get her. Like, I see
Mhm.
where she's coming from." And you were able to see just, like, such a different side of her, I feel like, with Dancing with the Stars
Yes.
and then obviously too, like, her husband, Connor, opening up and all that. I just see her in such a different light, and I really enjoy her, but I think she's really smart, and so I
Mm.
think she knows that, okay, like, I'm getting all these other great opportunities. I need to just really expand and, like, capitalize on that, and I don't want Secret Lives of Mormon Wives was a stepping stool. I won't need to keep because eventually I feel like, "Oh, you're on," like, you just kinda wanna break that tie if she wants to strictly go into acting or performing and all that,
Yeah.
so
That's a really good point, and, like, I don't know how long I see the franchise of Secret Lives of Mormon
Right.
Wives going on, but if it's anything like Housewives, it could be years, decades, generations, which
Yeah,
would be crazy.
that would be so
But I
crazy.
almost wonder, like, pretend it is that. Pretend that is the scenario. And
Yeah,
Whitney's out here doing movies, doing plays, and maybe in 5, 7, 8 years, like, if she's, like, peaked and it starts going back down, maybe she's like, "Hey, girls." Like, I could totally
right.
see her coming back because she's like a come in,
100%.
go out type girl
Yeah.
anyway, which is kind of like her MO at this point, which is kind of funny to me. And I'm like, I could see her coming back, like, if this is still going in 5 to 7, 10 years, I'm like, she could be like, "What's poppin' again, everyone?"
No, 100%. She was like, "What? I'm just back because I don't know, I'm trying to get on the next thing that, this is my way to get back into the light." No, I could
Yeah.
totally could see that. And that's funny, like, just thinking about it because, like you said, it's like, how long could they really
Go.
drag this show out? I mean, as long as there's something to give, for sure, like, I will take it, I
Yeah.
will consume it, I will be the first one to hit play as soon as it drops. But I truly do wonder because unfortunately, like, the sad thing is with it, it's in order for it to be interesting, like, there's gotta be drama, there has to be some sort of disruption in people's lives. Of course, you obviously want good things, you wanna see good things be celebrated but, in order to keep that audience, so it's just kind of crazy to think like, okay, like, what more could these women possibly have
Do.
to keep going through? I will say,
Yeah.
I really hope that they do, expand more on Michaela
Yes.
and with
Jace.
her marriage, and hopefully we get to see a little bit more on that, and I hope maybe more of, like, her therapy sessions and how she's growing in that, because that was a really sad thing to see.
Yes, and so vulnerable. Like, I feel like
Yes,
everyone's obviously opened up and been vulnerable, but I feel like that's next level because that's something that's actively happening, actively
right.
affecting their marriage, and is
Yes,
sad. And you can see it all over both their faces. Like,
yes,
they are devastated about it. And I hope that not that it's a storyline, but like, I hope that that topic does get a little more time. And I just feel like I didn't know much about her season 1, and, like, she was barely there, I feel like, and then season 2 and 3, definitely have gotten to know her better, and I'm glad because I really like her, and I do feel like we have so much more to learn from her and her
yes.
story and her life that I cannot wait to hear more about, but also, I can't wait to hear more about oh gosh, I just blanked. Miranda, I wanna know so much more about Miranda. I feel like that is, like, a well of information that hasn't even been tapped yet, like, we haven't even
Yes.
scratched the surface of Miranda.
Oh my gosh, 100%. Yeah, I completely agree. And I mean, I get it, like season 2 introducing her, it's just kind of, obviously her introductory season, so just trying to get her involved. Well, obviously she's already involved in a sense because she was already like around, but I guess reintroduced to the group because, she had been disconnected from Taylor for a little bit and I guess figuring out her intentions and stuff. So I feel like we've done well with okay, we have the surface level of Miranda. Like
Mhm.
we like her, she's well received by, the audience. Now let's know more about her story. I love to just get her perspective and more on the situation that happened with Chase Taylor and her and even when they all four were married, like leading up to the whole soft swinging thing, and how she's navigated that. I mean, I know it was briefly touched on, but yeah, I just
Yeah,
feel
very
like
brief.
you don't really get to see any of her raw emotions with it. She seems
Yeah.
very just like,
She
okay,
does, that's a really good point. And
you
also,
know,
I'm having brain fart. Have we had 3 seasons of Secret Lives or 2?
yes,
3, we've
yes,
had 3, okay. I was
yeah.
just like, where
I
am
know it's
I?"
crazy because well, so because season 2 honestly was, and I think this is partially why the reunion, like, they fully could like, after season 2 because it was already all filmed, but they
Mhm.
broke it up. So it was like they can't remember how many episodes, but it was like, "Okay, we're gonna call these episodes season 2, we're gonna do, like, a break, and then we're gonna re-release." So it was like they had already so it wasn't like they necessarily picked up cameras. They had already, because it was like once the ending conversation with Layla and Marciano and all that, like, they still kept filming. They just made that the break where she was like, "Oh, like, what did you do?" Essentially, that season 2, and then they took the rest of it to make it
I
season
didn't
3.
know that. That makes
Yeah.
so much more sense. Like, they
Mm.
should let the viewers in on some of this.
I know, I know. Yeah. But,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
so yes. So it seemed very because it was all just kind of, like, lumped together, but
Yes.
yeah, so there's been 3 seasons, and then so
Yes. Okay, yes, yes,
yep,
yes.
and then season 4 is about to come out,
I
which
know. Do you think we talked about Whitney leaving permanently? Do you think Demi is gonna leave permanently?
I really have no idea. I hope not because, and this sounds terrible to say, but you gotta have some controversial people on
Someone to
there.
stir the pot.
You have to, like,
She'll
there's
do
just
it.
no way because otherwise, if that's what you wanted, like, you would just be tuning in and watching, like, Friends,
Yeah.
on TV. Like, you would just turn on, like, a feel-good sitcom. Like, why?
Mhm.
It's so funny that, we really love, like, drama and just people that are interesting, but you have to have somebody like that, and I feel like she still has so much more to tell, and I feel
Uh-huh.
like I don't know, like, I almost could see a redemption arc too. Like, I know obviously a lot of the fan base is very much just kind of like, no." But, everybody has that at some point. Like, I feel like well, I shouldn't say everybody, but, people that do have that, they always sometimes I feel like they'll have another moment where they can reconnect with people and, you know, I feel like if things are going on, there's usually something deeper that they're just not
Mhm.
comfortable with explaining and
Agreed.
sharing. And then once they get to that point that they are, then a lot of more empathy and sympathy goes into it. And then they can kind of have a smooth. So, like, I just hope that for her, like, I don't want her to end on a bad note with the show. Like, if she chooses not to continue, like, I hope at least there's more of her explaining her situation and story. Like, because again, I feel like with this past season, everything was more so focused on just what Marciano did with who and
Mhm.
what. And then it was only like towards the end where it seemed more of the like emotional aspect of it of like, well, you don't understand, like, this is what I've been through. But we
Yeah.
didn't really get to fully dive into that. But, I don't know too, and I don't know, I haven't followed up on the lawsuit, I guess, because 'cause I'm
Me either, but I see it in the news and I'm like, hot
yeah, so I haven't
dog.
followed up on that, so I'll be curious to know if, like, she'll even want to film knowing that that's
Well, and he didn't just go after Demi, he also went over Jeff Jenkins Productions, who's the entire production crew of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Because
right.
obviously he has more money than Demi,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is nuts. I know, I hope the lawsuit is in it, but again, I do not want season 4 to be about the chubby Italian, and by the way, I think that was the line of season 3 when Zach said, "That was that chubby Italian's name?" Like, I rolled. That's my
Oh my god.
favorite line of season 3. But
Yeah.
let's take a quick pause from Secret Lives and pop over to The Bachelorette. How do you think, because we have just like probably like 10, 15 more minutes left, but how do you think Taylor's journey is going to be on The Bachelorette? I feel like the only thing I've seen is like a clip of her being like, "You say you love me? Like we just met, you don't love me." And I feel like that's the energy that the Bachelor franchise needed, like a
Yeah.
dose of reality. Like, hey, we cannot actually be in love if we just met.
Right.
And I do hope she finds love that's lasting, but I also hope she just like realizes, I hope God the casting producers found genuinely good dudes because I
Oh
feel like
my
that's hard to
gosh.
do when interviewing for a reality show.
I know, I know. I I'm really excited for it. I do agree with you. I feel like she will give these men a run for their money because I feel like I love Taylor so much because I just love how and I feel bad for her because she clearly loves so big.
Yeah.
Like, when she loves you, like, she just wants you like, she just puts all into it, and then so it's like when you hurt her, you really hurt her, but it's like she
Right.
loves you so much, she wants to give you that second chance. Obviously, we see that with Dakota, but I feel at the same time too, where it's funny because she's, like, given Dakota so many chances, but at the same time, she still gives him, like, so much crap at the same time. Like, she really, like, lays into him, like, she doesn't,
Yeah.
she
She's
lets him have
honest.
it. So I
Yeah.
hope that's what she does with these men, like
Yeah.
you said, I love you." "Oh, really? Like, how can you already be in love with me?" Like, there's no way. I hope she carries that energy through the whole entire season. I don't know, I feel like, because have you seen she, like, posted an Instagram, it was, like, an ad for a product, and she
Yes.
like, there was a man's
There
arm
was
in
like a
there.
man's
So I'm like, "Did she find somebody?" And if she did, I really hope so, and I hope it's a genuine
good
connection,
dude.
but I also hope it is met with realism of like, "Okay, we're not gonna get married right away." Even though I
Yeah.
know that's like the premise of like, "Will you marry me?" or
Be
I think that's
engaged.
yeah,
Yeah.
engaged something, but I hope it's met with, "Okay, I see a lot of potential in this person, like, I want
Yeah.
to carry this outside of the like, we're not engaged, we're not on our way to get married, but this is who I could see that potentially maybe leading down that path with."
Yeah, and I feel
And
like they are letting this season be different because
yeah.
she had her phone the whole time they were
Right.
filming, and, like, her
Yeah.
kids were involved, which I'm so glad because if you are going to be in a relationship with a mother who has children, like, that has birthed children, like, they are
Absolutely.
truly a part of you. At least when I birthed my son, like, swear he took half my memory and, like, my whole brain and
Oh,
half my heart, and I just, like, am always thinking about him whether I want to be or not, like, it's just
yeah.
my little heart is out there walking around,
That's so
and
sweet.
I just feel like there was one girl super long, 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 long time ago. She was blonde and she was from the South that was the Bachelorette. And I can't remember her name right now, but they like asked her multiple times and she kept saying, no, like I'm a mom. I can't fly out to LA and like be there for
Right.
months. And so they ended up like renting a mansion in somewhere like whatever Carolina she was from or somewhere in the South. And they like made that the mansion. And like the dates were like, bake chocolate chip cookies with me and stay in the car while I go drop them off at my daughter's soccer game. Like real life.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
Right? It's not like, yes, it's cute, but it's also like, this is what you would be signing up for.
Right,
Like, yes,
exactly.
The Bachelor can whisk us off to Saudi Arabia in a helicopter tour, seeing the most majestic waterfall, but like, I am a mother. I do have real world responsibilities and it's not always sexy and glamorous. So like if you're signing up, you're signing up. And so I hope there's a level of that to this season.
No, that is such a good point. Yeah, there has to be more. I'll be curious though, because I'm sure they probably won't show the kids on because I know that, her ex doesn't want them on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. But I do feel like they could incorporate, all right, so-and-so, like, she's got to practice or he's got to we have to you get to come with me to watch the practice or something. Yeah, like you said, just like being a mom, like what that entails. Like, okay, yeah, cool, we can have fun, we can have other dates, but day in and day out, like my kids are my kids. They're not going anywhere. They come first. So if you're marrying me, you're marrying my kids.
Yeah.
So yeah, that I would love that. And just like you said, and if they do that, which they should take that moving forward of just more mundane things.
Yes.
For the Bachelorette, like Bachelor, like, okay, let's go grocery shopping together. Like, how can we, can we do that? Like, that's the date. Like, can we manage that?
Or like, let's go volunteer at like a shelter. Like,
yeah.
Because I think that's why one of the many reasons why the Bachelor franchise has not been so successful is because, of course, you can fall in love with anyone in the perfect scenario with the perfect dress and the perfect lighting and the perfect meal and the perfect everything. It's like, try falling in love with a person, and because we're all human, we're all imperfect. So try falling in love with another imperfect human in this imperfect world where it's not like motion picture production. Like that's the real world, And I think we love watching the pretty, beautiful stuff, but like doses of reality, like real world stuff, I think is going to take it far.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And I'm so excited to see how it plays out. And I truly do. Like, I hope the best for her. And I hope whoever, because I'm assuming whoever she's been posting and hinting about is somebody from the show. So I just really hope that he's an authentic person and a genuine person. Because I don't know, like, do you know how, like, do they know who the Bachelorette is when they're...
I think so. Because I follow an embarrassing amount of casting producers because, like I told you, I've applied to Amazing Race 6 freaking times.
Yeah, I love that.
And one of them was casting dudes. And I messaged her and I like sent her 2 guys' names that were like good guys.
Yeah.
They didn't go on, but like it was very public. Like when she was doing her casting for the show, she's like, yeah, casting for The Bachelorette. And like everyone knows Taylor Frankie Paul. At least all of us girls did. Who knows if the guys knew? I feel like they would have to like let them know. But
yeah, that's true.
I don't know. It'll be interesting. I was hoping that Secret Lives would have dropped first because I like read online, maybe end of July, early February, so you could like binge that before you started The Bachelor. But now that they're gonna kind of be simultaneous, I mean, you and I, we can binge from for sure. The 12th to the 22nd we'll be done, but like the rest of the world,
we'll knock it out.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'll be interesting. Yeah, I hope season 4 of Secret Lives has more different, varying storylines and not just one integral scandal.
100%. Yep.
And I liked Layla's story arc because I do feel like season 1 and 2, she was just so young and like just
I know.
So trying to make everyone happy and like her. And I feel like she's growing a little bit more. She's maturing a little bit more. I do think the brother's situation is weird, but I'm glad she's happy with Mace,
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. I mean, whatever works. If it works, it works.
Yeah. Do you think they're going to bring in more cast members?
That's a great question. Don't know at this current state. I don't think so. I feel like they would have to moving forward because
they're losing people.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, let's just say Demi and Whitney aren't back for season 5. You're going to have to bring back okay, here's actually somebody I would love for them to bring back. If they
I have one person that I want.
Is it Camille?
Yes!
Yeah.
Is that yours?
Yes.
Me
Yes.
too. Team
Yes. I
Camille.
feel like that would be perfect.
Okay, I don't know her obviously, but looking
Yeah, me
at
neither.
her social media, and I don't actually have TikTok, so I'm just on Instagram. Well, my business has a TikTok, but I don't have it on my
Oh
phone.
my
Someone
gosh, you're so
reposts
strong,
my
honestly.
Instagrams. But looking at Camille's Instagram, she seems like the sweetest, most down to earth wife, mother, friend. And maybe
Yeah.
that's why they haven't had her on. Maybe they're like,
Yeah.
she's too pure hearted and great, and
We
that's not
can't ruin
reality TV.
her.
But I'm like, do you know what? I just want her on the show. I think she seems like a
I
great
know.
person.
Yeah. No, I think she would be a great addition. And, you know, and honestly, I mean, with all of like with how the show started of like the swinging, like
Yes.
it starts there. Like that's the core. Like let's bring the core like of
But I don't
how
think
it's
Camille
scented.
was swinging, right?
Yeah. Like to be completely honest, I still
Okay.
get really confused
Yeah, yeah,
on
yeah.
like who exactly was involved in what.
Yes.
But and she might not have, but I think she was at least in that group of
For sure,
maybe
the
being
original, like, TikTok, it was, like, them 3. It was, like, Camille,
yeah,
Taylor, and Miranda from what I've heard from the
yes,
lore since I
yeah,
don't have the tickety talk.
yeah, yeah, so I know she was, like, at least at the very least, it was presented to her, but I know because like, before all of this came out and, like, the scandals and stuff, like sorry, I don't know, keep hitting my mic.
No, you're fine.
I don't know if you would ever see anything, like, go over to, like, Insta, but there was a long time where, Taylor's like, they would do this bit of Taylor being the mom, and then Miranda and Camille were, like, her daughters, and for the
Wild.
longest time, like, I, like, couldn't figure it out because I was like, "There's no way."
Yeah,
But,
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
is it? Because they just kept doing it, but eventually I was like, "Oh, okay, this is a bit." Like, they're
Yeah.
not. But then it was, like, months and months or maybe even a year later, then all this came out. So, it was just so crazy 'cause, like,
Yeah.
they just happen to pop up on my For You page, and so I'm like, "Oh, who are these girls?" Like, they're really
Yeah.
pretty,
Yeah, 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 they're
and then
gorgeous.
all of this comes out, so I just feel like it would do the audience and the fans justice to have, like, the original,
Yeah, yeah,
where it all started,
agreed.
join the cast. So, that would be, like, the cherry on top if she joined.
Yeah, agreed, and I heard that from, like, older podcasts that she didn't wanna join because of her mental health and, like, the scandal rocked her personal life and, like, that wasn't, what she wanted to be associated with, and I totally get that. But I do think the show, yes, that was its roots, and I don't think they're, like, always gonna be like, "Flashback, this is what happened," but I do agree with you that, like, they were all super best friends, they were all
Right.
super tight. I think they all have different personalities, almost like Bratz dolls or something, and she's, like,
Yeah.
seemingly like the really sweet, beautiful, like, put together one, I don't know,
Yeah.
but everyone
Yeah.
has, like, issues and struggles, and I think maybe her and her husband were trying to get pregnant again, similar to Demi, like, that's what I thought could be Demi's story arc, actually, like, if she did
Right.
get pregnant finally and, like, have a redemption arc, and I don't know, but no matter what, I'm excited.
Me too.
Cannot wait for both of them. Unfortunately, I'm gonna be glued to my TV in March.
I know, yes, we will too, for sure, be pumping out those memes because 'cause I'm sure they're gonna give us a lot of great ideas.
Yes, and that's what I wanted to say was when were you like, "I need to start a meme account," number 1, and then number 2, how do you get all of your ideas? I'm like, she has to know a million movie quotes to be able to, like, overlay these people over the situation and write a text. I'm like, "That's next level genius." Like, your brain is firing on all cylinders.
Oh my gosh, you're so sweet. That's so nice.
I mean
I
every
mean,
word.
well, so also too, I do have to give a lot of credit to my husband because so whenever he started his sales, account and he was, like, cranking out memes left and right, I think he, like, spent a lot of time on CapCut,
Yes.
and they just, like, will have templates, and it's so funny to me because, like, whenever he was, like, doing his sales stuff, he would be like, "I don't know what this would go with yet, but, like, this is hilarious, this audio,
Same.
like, I just know." And so it was almost like he just put it in the back of his head to be like, "Okay," like, if something sales related came up, like, he's like, "Oh, I know, like, the perfect." So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
with
yeah.
that, I was kinda like, "Okay," and just kinda just, like, scroll CapCut as, like, a social media source of just kind of like, oh, interesting. I don't know, because obviously I'm sure maybe you see it with, like, Insta Reels, but, like, same with, like, TikTok. I will scroll through and I'm like, oh, this audio is hilarious. Like, I don't know what I could use this for, but like, I just feel like I could use this at some point.
I have a folder of saved audios.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just kind of like having that in the back of your mind. But and like watching it like as the episode's going on, it's kind of hard. Like sometimes watching it twice helps, but
Mm.
kind of just like take notes. Like as I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, that scene was funny. Like, ooh,
Yes.
or like, or I will kind of mainly focus on watching it and he has his apps or his notes app and I'll be like, ooh, jot that down, jot that. Like that was a good scene.
It's so funny. Last night, because I was like telling my husband, okay, I have a podcast tomorrow with Morgan from the Drama Drop. And because my husband doesn't have any social media, by the way. So I
Okay.
have to like every night be like, look at this, look at this. And
Right.
I was like, you know, the account, I've shown you tons of their videos. And so I was like going back through last night. I'm sure you saw me like liking a bunch more. I'm like, I thought I already liked these.
Yeah.
But the one where you're like, you have the picture, the still shot of Jordan and Jesse's closet. And then some guy like fighting. And you're like, point of view, Jordan getting ready to meet Marciano. And then he literally commented, like, that's what's so great about your page is not only am I like actually like crying, laughing
Yeah.
at your stuff, but the people follow you and comment on it and like they appreciate your sense of humor.
Oh my gosh.
It's like so beautiful.
It's so great. And let me tell you, I feel like so if they ever see any of this,
Yeah.
I have a great relationship I like to feel like with the cast because they are all really great at responding and interacting. If there's ever a post that I'm like, okay, this could be teetering the line. Like, I obviously don't want to upset anybody. And
Yeah.
because, there's a lot of sensitive topics that are going on. And like, I know these are real people,
Yes.
real things that they're going through,
Real
but it could
lives.
be really funny. I will send it to them directly and I'll be like, hey,
You're
like,
so sweet.
is this okay? Like for me to post because, I have a good relationship with them and, I love to see them interacting and them thinking things are funny and taking humor and, cause I'm very self-deprecating. Like I can laugh at bad things that are happening to me, but not everybody can. So I just want to make sure like I'm never, ruining that or offending anybody. And so it's just all in good fun. So if there's ever anything that I'm like, ooh, like that could be maybe a bit too much, I always message them and just say, hey, like, is this okay? And
You're
they're like, oh
so
my gosh,
sweet.
like that's hilarious. Yes, please post it. And
Yeah,
so
yeah. Oh, good.
yeah, so it's great and it's a lot of fun. And then again, it's always very just like warms my heart when I see them interact with it. And then so I'm like, oh, like that obviously was really good for them to interact about something about themselves
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
they could take offensive is great.
And I think it
Yeah.
also shows them, like, shows us that, like, they just let stuff roll off their backs and they are human and they can laugh at themselves too,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And I
Absolutely.
mean, here's the other thing. I feel like some of your reels have blown up. Like, I was looking last night, one of them almost has 1 million views.
It's crazy. And then some of them get like nothing. It's
I know,
so
but it's
infuriating.
still hilarious. It's so weird what the algorithm says is
I
good and,
know.
like, says is not. I think they're all good, by the way. Everyone go follow
Thank
the
you.
Drama Drop.
Thank you.
But
Thank you.
also, I'm like, okay, so she has the Drama Drop. She's posting hilarious content. Obviously, we're going to get another season soon. People are interacting. People are
Yeah.
loving. You're getting like hundreds of thousands of views. And I look at other Secret Lives of Mormon Wives accounts that are like apparently like by follower count doing better than you. But I'm like, I don't think their content is as entertaining as
Oh
yours.
my gosh,
And
that's so sweet.
can I just say this? I do think 2026 is the year of like people founded brands and like people founded companies and like people founded accounts. And so some of these other accounts don't show who's behind them. It's like, Wizard of Oz, like there's a
Right.
man behind the mask, but you're like, hey, this is me. I have my handle here. Like I am a real person. Like me and my
Yeah.
husband enjoy making these and sharing this. And I think that is also what sets you guys apart, your account. Cause while
Thank
it is
you.
like a funny meme account, you guys
Right.
humanize it and being like, this is us. This is what we enjoy. Like if you enjoy it too, join our community,
Oh my gosh, thank you. I appreciate that. That is really sweet. I definitely, to your point, because I mean, I follow so many meme accounts and it is weird after a while because you're just like, is there actually a person like doing all of this stuff? And so that was definitely something that I was like, okay, like I want to make sure, because like I always love, I don't know, I'm just such a visual. So I love seeing a face to like knowing who's doing like these things. And also too, like, since I knew I wanted to communicate with the people that I was like posting about, like the cast and stuff. I felt for them to feel comfortable too, like they would want to know, like, okay, who is behind, the other end? Like,
Yeah.
just for them, they're just like not talking to just like this image. And
Yeah.
so that was definitely important to me to make sure that, people knew who they were talking to or who's creating this stuff. Like, we're not just going to make stuff and then just kind of hide behind it and
Yeah.
just let it do any damage that it could do. Or, like we wanted it to be, just
Personable.
very transparent but fun.
Yes.
But yeah, so it's been a lot of fun.
It's evident that you and your husband have a great sense of humor.
Oh my gosh, that's something that we take a lot of pride in.
Good. Good. You should. You should.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, so I know it's a Instagram account for now, and you are
Yes.
going to have a podcast. Where are you going to post it? Is it like YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts?
So that is the goal, yes.
Okay.
So kind of because obviously, like, I was like, "Ooh, let's get in, like, all the clips." Of course, like, life happened, and
Yeah.
it was the holidays and all that stuff, so kinda, like, fell off the clips, but so the goal is to, yeah, Spotify, YouTube, and Apple. We've been putting the clips on YouTube as of right now,
Yeah,
but
I saw that.
when we do, like, the longer ones, like, obviously, I wanna put it on YouTube because I want a visual, and then
Yeah, same.
Spotify, Apple, those will be there, but
Perfect.
so at least, like, for now, like, we've just been doing the Instagram clips and YouTube to kind of gain traction. And granted, it's a little bit my fault because towards the end of the year, like, we really, like, fell off on doing, like, the actual, um, visual of the drop, but, yeah, we'll pick that back up and then get longer episodes on Spotify and Apple, but the little clips, of course,
Mhm.
that'll be on Instagram, and then we'll do, like, the shorts on YouTube, and then the longer version, obviously, on YouTube, but
Perfect.
kind of try to, like, sprinkle it in wherever we can.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so say like best case scenario, this podcast is growing, it's popping off, you're getting a bunch of new followers and interaction and engagement and your community on the drama drop. I want you to like speak this into existence because on my first episode of my podcast, I said that I eventually wanted to interview, and this was when season 1 had come out. But I said I wanted to interview Jesse and Demi on my podcast. So like
Oh,
if you
yeah.
could interview two of the girls, who'd you interview? And also, I have to say, obviously, we all want to interview Taylor Frankie Paul, but I do feel like she's such a big deal and she has no time that I just feel like she's not an option. So I didn't even like say that. And I would change my mind now. Or, I mean, I want to interview Jessie because she's a business mogul and I don't think that's highlighted enough
Right.
in the show. But season 1 to me was like a fan favorite. I don't care who you are, like she was.
Right.
But
100%.
yeah, who would you now, 2026, if you could have your pick of two guests to interview from Secret Lives, who would you want to interview?
Oh my gosh, such a crazy question. I love all of them so much for different reasons, and, I'm speaking this into existence
Do it.
because I would love to, and people might this could be controversial, but I would love to interview Demi. And I actually, I have a pretty decent, like, she responds to me the most on Instagram. And it's
Hey!
actually so crazy. And she's really sweet.
Yes.
And she actually, like, there was a time, like, we are going soon, but my husband, one of his friends lives in Utah, and we were gonna go out there to visit him and his wife, and I had mentioned that, and I was like, like, if you are ever down to get dinner or whatever, like, I would love just tossing it out there, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, yes, I would love to, like, let me know." And
So
she even
sweet.
followed up in the beginning of the year. She was like, "Hey, like, when are you planning on coming to Utah?" And I was like,
Stop it.
so
So sweet.
I would be like, that would be so exciting. And I feel like, you know, I could also see too, just when you feel like you're 1 against 5, you just feel like you need to be defensive because, you have nobody else to, like, be in your corner. So I
Totally.
feel like it's probably a lot easier to just maybe come across as not meaning the way that you are meaning, if that makes sense. So I would when things like calm down, because obviously in the height of everything, your emotions are still really high. So you could still come off across strong. I would love to be able to just interview her and
Yeah.
talk to her and even just go as far as back to like before all of this show,
Yeah,
like who is Demi?
childhood.
Yeah, childhood, like first
Yes.
marriage, like how did all that, come about and
Yes.
all that stuff. So
We think the same because, like, that was my thought with Demi too. I love this. You should
yeah,
definitely do it.
that would be amazing. So speaking that into existence.
Do it.
And like you said, another obvious answer would be Taylor, but I'm not gonna pick her, even though obviously I would love to. And
Yes,
I
we all
think it
would.
would be an honor because she doesn't do a lot of podcasts and she is so busy. So if she were to sit down with me, that would be insane.
Yeah, it'd be
So she's
literally
an obvious, but
like a lightning
we'll
strike.
yes, exactly. So, but I'll just put her aside just because she's obvious.
I did too.
Then I feel like the other one that I would love to interview would be Michaela. Because I just feel like I haven't seen her on a lot of podcasts where it's been just
True.
her. It's been either with one other person or a group of people. And I feel like she has a lot going on in either her past or like currently that I just would love to hear more about. And I know I mentioned that I hope that they expand more on that in season 4. And I don't think she's like doing anything on the side in terms of like business wise. So I feel like Jessie, she's obviously got her hair, and then Macy with her book. Like, those are other opportunities for other podcasts to kind of, reach out to them and be like, okay, now tell me about this, or like you have this going on. But she doesn't, which obviously, like, that's not anything. But I just feel like that maybe why she also hasn't gotten additional of just her.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I would
yeah.
love to have just her on here and
Yeah,
just kind of go deeper into
totally.
her story.
She
Yeah.
seems like such a funny girl, which I don't think she gets the
Yes.
funny edit, but I do think she is really funny. And
Yes.
also from like the Vegas party bus thing, like girl's got some moves. She can dance, her donk, her moves. I'm
Oh
like,
my
can you teach
gosh.
me how to do that? Like
No, 100%. It's
101.
amazing. I was like, "Wait a
Yeah.
second.
Like,
Where
where'd
did
this
this
come
come
from?
from?"
Yeah.
Yes, 100. I was like, "Dang, girl, like, that is great." Because 'cause I'm like a pancake. There is nothing going
Same.
on, so I'm jealous.
I am in the
So,
gym trying to get glutes.
it doesn't I used to live on the 3rd floor in my old apartment, walked up and down obviously every day, it did nothing. So, I'm convinced that it's all a myth. You either got it or
Either BBL, you got it or you don't.
exactly.
Oh my gosh, girl, it has been a privilege talking to you. It's been so fun.
Yes.
I hope your page blows up to the point where you're like planning community get-togethers in like different areas, like watch parties in different towns and like
Oh my gosh.
because you have created such a community of fellow reality TV lovers that have a good sense of
Yeah.
humor, and I just feel like there's a way for you to like as you grow, like next steps, you know? So I'm
Thank
excited
you.
about your page growing. I'm excited about your podcast. I'm excited about you and Demi's future podcast interview because that will happen. I'm feeling it for you. And yeah, is there anything else on like the horizon that you want to tell people about before we wrap it up?
Oh gosh. I mean, no, just super excited for this upcoming year. I know that The Secret Lives is a huge, like, that's the attention grabber, but, we're going to do more on, Traders, The Bachelorette. I think I heard that there's going to be another Love is Blind, believe it or not,
I've
season
never
coming
seen
out.
her.
Delve into that. So, I mean, it's crazy, but all things reality, like we will be at the forefront, just super excited. And then just something on a personal level, I'm gonna, audition for Big Brother. So just like fingers crossed that that works out. I really hope so. I mean, I've been watching that since, oh my gosh, season 6 religiously,
Okay.
which, oh God, that was so long ago. I think I was in like 4th grade, maybe. My parents watched it. So obviously that's how I got hooked. And I've stayed with it. I'm so
Nice.
invested in it. So that's not a personal one. So hopefully that works out. But you don't know unless you
Zing.
try. Yeah.
Exciting. Wishing you luck. If you get on Big Brother, I will officially watch because I've never watched
Yay.
Big Brother. I've seen Big Brother players compete on The Amazing Race, but I've never seen actually like tuned in to watch Big Brother. So
I feel like you'd love it. It's a mix of game and then reality and then drama. Like you knowing that you love Survivor, Amazing Race, and watching Secret Lives and all that. Like it's a perfect combo because these people can't go anywhere and they have no phone. Like it's so good.
Oh my gosh.
So good.
Well, one of my favorite couples from The Amazing Race came from Big Brother, Cody and Jessica.
Stop. They live like maybe 20 minutes from me.
Stop it.
Yeah.
That's
I'm not kidding.
wild.
Yeah. We like
wild.
live in the same area and I geek out all the time because I'll be like, oh my gosh, they're like, they'll just like post like, oh, we're out to lunch. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like they're just right there.
In my neck of the woods.
I saw them once at a grocery store.
Oh my gosh.
At and I just was like, Drew, like there they are. And he was like, oh my gosh. But see, I get nervous because I never want to be that person where, they're like, really, like we're grocery shopping, and they had their kids and everything. So like, I would never be that person to just like interrupt something. But I'm like, I'm sure I made it so obvious because I just like, and then I like go hit Drew and I'm like, look. But yeah, so I love them. Like they're such a cute family.
Have you seen their season of The Amazing Race, season 30?
No, which is I need to because I know they win.
Watch it.
I know.
Well, it sucks that you know that they win, but still, it's a really good season, and the finale will actually maybe shock you. So you should tune into Amazing Race season 30.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I definitely should. I always say I want to like start that one. I think it kind of overlaps with Big Brother a little, or do they go twice in a year, or is it just once a year that they release?
Oh, they I think used to go twice in a year, but now it's like maybe twice, maybe once. It's getting a little like harder to know, but typically I think like the goal is for them to film twice a year, but I don't know. But that is super cool. That is super fun. I'm giving you all the good vibes. I hope you get on Big Brother. And
thank you so much.
I'm excited to watch all of your memes as these upcoming seasons of shows come out.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's been so much fun chatting with you. Like this is an honor and I'm just so excited for the year.
Yes, me too. All right. Well, everyone, thank you for watching. Follow Morgan at The Drum Drop. It'll also be in the show notes, but feel free to check out her content because it will make your day. It'll make you smile. It'll make you laugh. You'll have a good time.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening to the Details Podcast by The Heartland. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow along on Instagram at The Details Pod. Subscribe on YouTube and leave us a review. Turn on your notifications to hear new episodes every Monday. See you next week. Bye.